Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Yeah, it wasn't a good scene.
No.
It's something you don't want to ever experience.
Today, a report released by the Highway Patrol says the bus driver was at fault for a fatal train school bus collision near Larimore, North Dakota in January. 62-year-old bus driver Max Danner was killed along with 17-year-old student Cassidy Sandstrom. The patrol says both of them were ejected from the bus during the crash. 10 other students on the bus were injured. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson has more details on what happened that tragic day.
The patrol says the school bus was braking hard when the front end of the bus slid up on the tracks. It was hit by a BNSF train traveling 43 miles per hour, just 1.5 to 2 seconds later. Richard Lunsky lives nearby. He was first on the scene and helped injured students away from the crash site.
Kind of bad memories. You were helping people off, and
yeah, it wasn't a good scene.
No.
It's something you don't want to ever experience.
The bus did not stop short of entering the railroad tracks right away.
he hit the brakes and slid up on the tracks.
Yes, he did. He was on the brakes. The brakes were engaged, and the bus slid up onto the railroad tracks.
Any indication that he had passed out or had any medical issues?
No, there is not. There's no indication based on the autopsy through the medical examiner and based on our interviews. There's no information that leads us to believe that it was a medical event.
Hischer says he also reviewed videotape of the actual accident taken by the train. He says it shows that bus driver Max Danner was upright in the driver's seat. And authorities say after interviewing students who were on that bus following the crash, they didn't find anything that would indicate there was a major disturbance that could have distracted bus driver Max Danner. Authorities say it was simply a tragic accident.
This all could have been a lot worse.
Oh, it absolutely could have been. There could have been 10 more fatalities. The bus did not stop short of entering the railroad tracks right away.
The patrol says the school bus's black box, along with a physical inspection, showed that the bus did not have any mechanical problems. The patrol says the investigation into the case is complete and there are no pending charges. From Larimore, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
2 other people have been killed in accidents at that same crossing. Plans are now in the works to install flashing lights and gates there. It was warm today in the valley, but can we say record-breaking? Meteorologist Lisa Green has the details in First Weather. Lisa, how warm did it get?
Well, we certainly can say record-breaking, Andrea, because several places at least tied or broke a record today. That includes Fargo-Moorhead with a preliminary high of 58 degrees. The old record was 55, and that was set way back in 1902 on this date. So an old record broken today. Grand Forks, 58 degrees is your record there. And Jamestown at 56 has tied a record so far. We may hear more of these as we move through the evening hours. So some very warm temperatures today, all of us at least in the mid-40s. And looking at current temperatures right now, we're still at 58 degrees in Fargo. Taking a peek out west, we've got some 60s in Bismarck, Dickinson, and down into South Dakota. And we may be seeing some 60s in the forecast, but we won't be seeing as much in the way of precipitation. Storm tracks are still well to the north right now. And as we take a peek at our planner for this evening, expect temperatures staying in the 50s for a little while longer, then dipping down into the 40s. Clear skies. It should be a beautiful night with light wind and gorgeous conditions to get outside and enjoy this weather. Big snow melting weather that we have. And again, 60s possible coming up in the forecast.
Wow, so put the coat away, the winter coat, at least for the week.
Well, you might need it in the mornings.
No.
But, you know, dressing in layers is probably your best bet this week. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lisa.
You bet.
All right, although it's only March, it will only be a matter of time before orange cones line the roads and drivers will be forced to take detours. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop reviews the big projects that'll impact drivers in the Fargo area. Ashley?
This construction season will not only impact Fargo drivers, but those from Moorhead that use First Avenue North. Now, this big construction project will impact over 27,000 drivers and will be here mainly on 2nd Street North is the prime thing they will be using as construction, but the intersection of First Avenue North will be impacted. Permanent flood protection for the new City Hall. Permanent flood protection, the new City Hall, and realigning 2nd Street will cause the First Avenue to be shut down mostly all summer. As for 2nd Street, that will be closed down all summer and all winter as well.
there'll be a period of time where there'll be no passage on foot or by car. And then we will phase it to be back open for at least pedestrians to cross the bridge. And then after that, the road will be back open. But there are a lot of utilities and a lot of work to get done in there.
Now, the detour for First Avenue will be using NP Avenue. And coming up at 6 tonight, we'll tell you why a local businessman thinks that the most impacted people for this project will be those that are low income. Ashley Bishop in Fargo, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Ashley. And to see a full list of all the upcoming Fargo projects, check out our story on valleynewslive.com. And with the warmer weather upon us, pothole season has begun. You can report potholes in your neighborhood to the City of Fargo as it puts together its plan for fixing them. Visit our website, valleynewslive.com, and there'll be a link showing you how to alert the Streets Department. And, of course, send us your pothole pics on our Valley News Live Facebook page. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and show us the potholes around the valley. The jury trial for the 2014 North Dakota Teacher of the Year will start in just a couple weeks. Today, another court hearing was held regarding what evidence can be used in the March 24th trial of Aaron Knodel. Knodel is a West Fargo English teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with one of his students in 2009. The judge decided that Knodel's polygraph results will not be used as evidence.
And so when I say no comment or question, I mean from counsel, and then I want counsel to tell their witnesses as well.
But the judge did allow the jury to hear testimony from a handwriting expert who reviewed handwritten notes allegedly from Knodel. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll tell you why Knodel is questioning the expert's education. A startling number of felons are on the loose in Minnesota. The Star Tribune is reporting that last year there were a total of 5,180 warrants issued for Minnesota fugitives. Of those warrants, there were only 361 arrests. Also, there has been a crackdown on sex offenders. Of the 203 warrants issued for level 3 sex offenders, 200 arrests were made. And if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. Two lawmakers from opposite parties are working together to get a bill passed that requires doctors to notify women if they have dense breast tissue. Speaking to a group of women who were taking part in a We Rise Women's Lobby Day at the Capitol, Representatives Kathy Hawken and Pam Anderson shared why they believe the bill needs to be passed in the Senate.
So when we say it's a no-money bill, you all that have had mammograms are aware that you get a letter afterwards that tells you what the status is. This would add a line in that letter telling you that you, in fact, have dense breast tissue, and 40% of women do.
I truly believe that this bill can save women's lives in North Dakota, and it's important that it get passed.
Last week, the bill received a do not pass recommendation from the Senate Human Services Committee. And coming up on tonight's Healthier Me, what's causing a higher risk of breast cancer in some women. President Obama has announced a tech hire initiative to rapidly train Americans to fill the approximately 500,000 tech jobs available around the country. The new program will help provide more Americans with the skills to fill tech jobs without necessarily pursuing four-year college degrees. President Obama says higher-paying tech jobs are a ticket to the middle class. During the speech, he praised job gains of recent months, including February's growth of about 295,000 jobs. The hard work of some North Dakota State University students has paid off. The results are in for this year's Clean Snowmobile Challenge. The NDSU team dominated the diesel category, winning every award. They received honors for fuel economy, low emissions, noise design, and won the bar pull contest. The team built the snowmobile from scratch, and it was a part of their senior project. A national competition is underway in the Red River Valley. The 2015 Curling Club Nationals kicked off this weekend at the FM Curling Club, and 10 teams of both men and women will be competing well into this week for first place. North Dakota men's team is currently 3-0, and the North Dakota women's team is also 3-0.
It's going to be great curling. If you've watched in the Olympics, we're very similar to that caliber of play. As well, there'll be a lot of people around to answer questions if you don't know much about the sport, and the bar will be open.
It's $10 to watch the competition for the day. Still ahead tonight, a recall you may want to know about before you hit the road.
And again, our high today in Fargo, 58 degrees. That is 3 degrees above the old record. Average high this time of year, 32. So we are well above that. And there's more to come. I'll have details for you coming up right after this break.